I go, can I get a Negroni? He goes, yeah, but do you want a white Negroni? I was like, yeah. Yeah, I do.
Oh my God.
So then he made me a normal Negroni and a white Negroni, gave me them both, and he goes, take a sip of that. And dude, oh my God, he did the straw thing where he like held the bottom of it and tasted it.
Himself.
And he goes, yeah.
Oh, man.
Welcome back to Oops the Podcast.
All right, lots to unpack here.
I got something for you.
Please. Julio, I don't know where you came up with that idea.
Dude, this guy was a huge turkey.
What is this, Japan? Which is one of the reasons why I hadn't told you about it.
No, and I also just assumed you were saving it for the pod if you were going to tell me.
Yeah.
Which, of course, you were.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back. It's Oops the Podcast. I'm Francis. That is Julio Gallerati.
Let's go, baby.
Sporting a fresh chop.
Let's go, baby. Dude, so I know you guys are now going to start. I'm really building this up too much, but I'm preparing for the Halloween costume. I've begun. I need the cheek beard to grow in.
Oh, my God.
My beard is traditionally a little bottom heavy, like my body. All right. Here we go. Thought of that this morning. Was excited to say it. You know? So I'm prepping. So the hair needs to be a certain way because then it needs to be cut again. And
Wow. You're going to cut it again.
we're going to go for it. Yeah.
Wow.
It needs to be like bangs.
Yeah, sure. Well, you don't have a ton of time. I mean, how far can you get here?
No, the hair doesn't need to grow long. That's the thing. It just needs to be like this, but like the sides need to be a little tighter.
Got it.
So it's almost like a front mullet.
Mm-hmm. By the way, you do look quite wet right now.
Do I?
Yeah.
What is this?
I think your hair seems to retain moisture better. You know, if I were crossing this Serengeti, I'd want you nearby because we could just wring your mop out in the mid trek.
I took a shower this morning.
Yeah.
And I did my typical drying protocol. I wrap my head in a towel and I push.
So you're not tousling.
I don't do that. I worry that it's bad for my roots.
Unreal.
What is your morning routine? Because I noticed you've been like taking some risks lately. I've noticed with your hair.
With my hair?
Yeah.
Have I?
Yeah, you've been giving it a little fluff. You've been doing a little thing.
I guess that's probably because we're on camera constantly here.
Got it.
And we used to record in my home.
Yeah.
And I didn't give a shit,
Yeah.
about how I looked really. And now, for some reason, the stakes just seem a little higher, etc. So,
well, dude, this is funny too because how did I never think of this? Like, there would be like every once in a while there would be a day where Francis would just be like in between episodes he'd like get up, shake it out of bed. He'd be like, "It's because you're in your fucking house, dude."
yeah, right.
That's why
Right.
that would happen.
I would just sort of feel.
You just have been in your house all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't spend a
Francis.
whole lot of time there. I definitely do miss it a little bit, but all good things, dude. I had an event this weekend that I need your ruling on.
Baby.
Okay, here we go. We had some folks over.
Amazing. I'm having FOMO already.
Yeah. I asked you if you guys
I was
were
out of
around.
town. I was out of town.
Yeah. No, exactly. You were in Salt Lake City.
Yes.
Which I want to hear all about.
Yeah. We got a bunch of stuff.
In fact, do.
No.
Okay.
No.
We always do me first. We always do me first.
Don't you do that. We just talked about my beard and my bangs, dude.
Okay.
We did a little me.
Yeah, we did a little you. Now it's my turn.
That's your turn.
For the next 55 minutes. For the next 5 ad reads, it's Franny time. No, I'll do this as quickly as I can. So we had people over, right? And it was not I guess it wasn't our typical really planned out day.
Okay.
There were no invitations.
Briskets, no. Okay. Yeah.
There was no theme.
Yeah.
There was no DJ. It wasn't an organized event. It was a more casual come over, people, whatever, kind of thing. And we had people over, and it wasn't clear. I had sort of convinced Sierra that we should have some people over, and she said sure. And as a result, I would say the bulk of the initial invite wave was my and our friends.
Got it.
But once things started to cook a little, She threw out a couple of feelers.
Got it.
And she hit on those feelers.
She hit hard on the feelers.
To the degree that a lot of, we had a bunch of people come over. It was casual, whatever. And then all of a sudden, there were a lot of people at our house that I did not know.
All of a sudden, the fire marshal showed up, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny that you say fire marshal.
Oh, no.
Because, and we've talked about this, Roan?
Yeah.
So Roan and his wife came. They live in Dumbo.
Amazing.
And he was like, initially, I had invited him, and he was like, we'd love to, but we're with two of our friends, one of my wife's friends, and my buddy who's a firefighter, so maybe that's too much. Which I laughed at, because I was like, imagine if I were to tell him, no, now you can't come, now that you're with a fireman, But sure enough, all these people came. I got a little on edge. We were playing cornhole. So
you didn't know how many people did you not know?
Probably like 10.
So it was all like random +1 type of situation?
I think, yeah, and also a crowd of Sierra's sort of younger friends-ish. I don't even know how she knew them.
Oh, wow.
Maybe through work, maybe through where she went to college, but...
That would have thrown Hill Dog for a loop.
Yeah.
Anything new, you need to soft intro it.
Yeah,
anything new at all.
And to sort of highlight the point, I'm playing cornhole, and these two guys were like, "Can we get next?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, of course." And I didn't know them. I met them, and then all of a sudden, the guy standing next to me in the next game, is talking shit to me.
I knew that this
And
you must have hated this.
He's talking shit, and then he reveals that he works at Barstool.
Oh, what?
And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry we've never met,
Yeah.
And he was like, well, that's okay. I started working there right after you left, and I work in merch.
Oh, nice.
And I have no problem saying this, but I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah.
And he's in my home. He's talking shit to me. And he works at my workplace.
Yeah.
And so there was this kind of breaking of a professional wall where all of a sudden I was like, I had Roan there. So Roan works at Barstool too, but like he's a friend beyond the wall. And to learn that there's another employee from your job at your home that you didn't invite, that you don't know, just made me think like, all right, I need to fucking reel myself in a little here. I need to be on guard.
Right. He's like, oh, you called out a cornhole shot, pal? He's like, pull your panties out of your tush. And you're like, he's like, oh, I work with you, by the way. You're like, what?
Also, 1930s bootlegger. He's running rum for Barstool. We got a big shipment coming in, a couple of crates of the good stuff.
Be on the docks at 9:30.
Yeah, 9:30, 30. I don't know. I'm like, no wonder you work in merch, you say,
Is that what we're calling it? Merch?
Code name for rice wine? Yeah. So, no, but the shit talking he was doing was he kept questioning the scores that I was calling out. Like 4 or 5 times, to the degree that I would then have to like count the bags.
Oh, God.
And he would do it by being like, "You're not much of a math guy, are you?"
Oh, God.
And I'd be like, "Dude, why don't you just fucking go? Why don't you leave?" That's what I wanted to say, but because I knew that he was like a friend of one of Sierra's invites, I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
But I also just would have been 10 times more comfortable if he had never told me that he worked at Barstool, which I can't blame him for.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
It just meant I felt like I was
He needed to disclose that.
under watch.
Yeah.
And I'm with my wife. We're in our home. I don't know. Does that make sense to you that I would be like more uncomfortable because of that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because like if you want to just do shit that you don't want to do in front of work people.
Yeah. I'm not
It's
saying
a good impulse.
we're not these people, but let's say that I had like wanted to whip out our heroin bag.
Right, exactly. That's exactly where my brain
Now
went.
it's like this guy could fucking hop on Reddit and just be like, I happen to know for a fact that Francis
Right.
does heroin on Saturdays.
Right. Strangers in general and that sitch make it a little more tense, and you feel like maybe people are watching you. And then somebody at work, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But if you guys were wondering if we're going to have merch for Oops the Podcast, I guess the answer is no.
But we will have illegal liquor with our name on it.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
Oops wine.
Yeah. So anyway, all of this serves to put me on edge a bit, which now fast forward, luckily and by the way, that guy turned out to be totally fine.
I'm sure. Yeah.
He was totally fine, totally gracious. He ended up leaving, not that we asked him to, but it was it was fine. And then
Roan did not bring him?
What's that?
Roan did not bring him? Also, Roan, how old is he?
He's probably my age.
Oh, okay.
33,
Okay.
32.
He's a young face.
Yes. Yeah, he's very
I was just surprised to hear
warm.
he's married. I don't know. I don't know him well.
No, I think he's my age.
Cool.
So anyway, fast forward, party kind of boils down. People leave. We order a couple of pizzas. Do our usual, like, let's go over to the table and start playing some fun games. And Sierra loves that game, Snake Oil.
It's a good one.
Yeah, where it's word association. You pitch a product by combining 2 words from the 7 cards that you have in your hand. And everyone's getting into it. People are having a good time. But Roan's buddy, the fireman, is not into the game at all. And he's pretty fucked up. And he's just trying to sort of torpedo the game. So out of turn, people are like in the middle of their pitch, and he's just taking his cards and being like, cock, spider, net, like whatever. And I'm like, all right, hey, come on, let's let her try.
Hey, remember, you put out fires, you don't start them.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. And he'd be like, all right, sorry.
You're right.
And then 2 minutes later, he'd be right back at it. Like, and he'd like turn to me and be like, you don't actually think this game is fun, do you?
Oh my God.
Like, you really,
oh my God.
you think this is, you think this game is cool? Like, what are we doing here?
No.
This is bullshit. And I'd be like, come on. And then finally I like looked at him and I was like, it's fun if you buy in. You have to buy in. Can you buy in? I was like talking to a 5-year-old petulant kid at soccer camp.
That's great.
And
what a day, dude.
and he kind of did, but then immediately unraveled. And then Sierra got up to like clear some cups or something, and he goes, it's kind of quiet, but there's only 7 people there. He turns to me, he goes, you've been such an amazing host, seriously. And I'm like, oh, thanks, man. He goes, your wife, on the other hand, little over the top.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Those were his actual words.
That's crazy.
Record skip. Whole party grinds to a halt. I said, what? And he goes, your wife. She's a little over the top.
What?
Oh
He
my
doubled down?
God.
Yeah. And by the way, both Roan and I, the second he said it, we both knew. Okay. There is a bomb has been timer has started. And there's only one person here who has the ability to defuse it, and that's him. And the only way that he can defuse it is if he has some sort of punchline joke that makes this magically funny to everyone, and most importantly to Sierra.
Oh my goodness.
Because she's heard it and turned and was like, what? And he just said it again, and he had nothing. And then we were in this like no man's land where basically it was like, do I ask him to clarify what he means? And which would, given the state that I knew he was in, which he's pretty banged up, but he was like totally coherent and somebody who doesn't look drunk, wasn't slurring his words. I was like, I knew that if I was like, explain that, it would have only gotten worse.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But there was no coming out of it. It had been said. The elephant in the room had been set free. And Sierra immediately came and stood over him and was like, I don't even know what she said, but something like, I will I will bury you, or like I don't know what she said, but was like, you have no idea like what you're saying, and you're being really rude. I don't know, but she was like trying to find the dagger to say, but was pretty flustered, understandably. And Roan was trying to be like, I think he's just trying to be funny, and I was like, yes, Sierra, I got it. I don't know what you meant there, but I think it's probably time for you to go.
No.
And he goes, you're probably right. And they left.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So then, how many people are in the room at this point?
Once Roan took him out, at that point, it was just Alex Bennett, Graham, me, and Sierra.
Okay.
And over the next hour, we basically just rehashed that moment.
Yeah.
And I've thought a lot about it. I mean, first of all, I'm not bothered by it. Sierra was able to laugh it off the next day.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hollow insult.
It's so
from a
vague.
drunk person.
It's so vague.
Not a big deal.
What could it mean? Could it mean in his mind, was he thinking that she was being overly attentive?
Probably the game. Like in his mind, the game. He's not a game guy.
Yeah.
And that person exists.
100%.
That guy who's like games. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there's you'll meet that opposition occasionally.
Yeah.
So probably something like that.
100%. That's probably what it was.
You know?
I hadn't really thought of that for some reason.
Yeah.
But my mind quickly went to this thought of, what if when I had said it's probably time for you, I said respectfully, I think you should probably leave. What if he had been like, go fuck yourself? I'm not leaving.
You gotta lay him out, dude.
For real?
Yeah, you gotta lay him out. What else are you supposed to do? You just hand him your penis and balls? You gotta fucking lay him out, dude.
So you punch him.
Yep. Gotta smoke him in the face.
But we have like nice furniture.
I know. You got it, dude. You got it. Even if you lose the battle, you can't let somebody do your wife like that, bro. And especially
I know.
There's this new vibe from you now that you're a married man that I've sensed. It's a nice vibe. But there's this vibe of like, all right, I'm a married man now. None more of this fucking tomfoolery. Meaning like, you're like, I want to be around to enjoy being married, to being a newlywed.
Yeah.
I want to spend time with my wife. Here you are in your house with your wife and your friends and their wives, and now fucking some guys like, hey pal, your fucking wife this is your moment, dude. And you handled it well. You avoided it, you didn't let it escalate.
It was funny, when I said it, instantly I started just looking around. I was doing the Jason Bourne thing. I'm like, all right, there's a chair there, there's a table there. I would probably just try to choke him out.
Yeah.
And so that we could just subdue the situation with as little damage as possible.
Yeah.
But I also quickly clocked Graham Bennett, who is huge. And he's sober.
Yeah.
And I had bonded with him all day. So I knew there is somebody here with the strength and wherewithal to break this all up.
Right. Power in numbers.
If this were to get out of hand.
Yeah.
And that made me feel good. Just from the standpoint of like, this wouldn't be some two baboons rolling around,
right.
breaking shit,
Right.
whatever. And fortunately, none of that happened. But my God, I just couldn't. I'm glad. Yeah, that's exactly right. I wouldn't have wanted to just punch him in the face. I think I would have gone over and grabbed him and just made him unconscious.
Do you know how to do that?
Yeah.
How did you learn how to do that? Krav Maga class?
YouTube.
Really?
It's really easy.
Oh my God.
It is what you think it is.
Right.
It's just you need to use this arm to cut. It's not this. It's this.
The side.
Yeah, it's the blood flow to the brain.
Whoa.
And you basically like create a tourniquet with your arms around the neck, and then they pass out.
Wow.
And if you don't release it, you can kill them.
Got it.
Which is when it gets bad.
So how are you supposed to know when to release?
Well, if their body goes limp.
Okay.
I mean,
And
he's
then
thrashing around, and then all of a sudden he's not.
And what is the time period from when he initially goes limp to when you can go too far and kill the person?
I'm not sure,
Okay.
but I do think I would have the sense to release
Mhm.
and not keep choking somebody.
Right.
You know?
Yes. Speaking of which, did you see that knockout? I don't know why the guy's name is escaping me. I watched like an hour and a half of his knockout reel. Boxing heavyweight. The guy who lost to Fury twice.
Deontay Wilder.
Deontay Wilder. Dude, that was it sucks to get knocked out and to like be embarrassing when you're knocked out. I just feel bad for those guys. It's like they're these prize fighters,
right.
and now all anyone remembers you for is like looking up at the
It's
ceiling.
tough. Yeah. Yeah. No, man. I mean,
That guy has like 43 wins, and 42 of them are knockouts too. And the knockouts are vicious.
yes, but the crazy part is that Tyson Fury beats him every time.
I know.
Beats him every time.
And that's one for the boys in a way. Tyson Fury's kind of a little doughy. You know
he's
what I mean?
he's a gypsy king. He's a piker.
Yeah.
He's a fucking piker.
He is.
Dude, it's crazy. And like Deontay Wilder is like an absolute physical specimen.
Yeah.
It's as if they opened him from the box.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Action figure, 100%.
Sorry.
No,
that was
all
the
right.
natural progression of that. Well, dude, listen, I think at the end of the day, I don't want people to think that I'm encouraging you to knock people out. It's like if a person though, like what are you supposed to do if the guy keeps going? You can't, there is a point where unfortunately it's you turn back to what we do in the wild. Dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what kind of separates us from animals is that
Right.
we have other options before it gets there. But like sometimes
But don't
you got to defend yourself.
there does come a time though where we're adults, and I want to say sort of evolved, dignified people,
Mhm.
where I can let things go
Mhm.
because to engage in violence with this guy I don't know. I mean, think of what you open yourself up to.
You're right.
Liability,
Absolutely.
getting hurt yourself,
Mhm.
breaking shit. I don't know, all kinds of stuff. That doesn't read very well. Like Francis Ellis injures firemen in
Very
his
true.
own home.
Very true. Very true.
And it doesn't, no matter what he's done. I
Yeah.
think like no matter what, getting him out of the door, even if it means I have to swallow an insult
Mhm.
and then convince Sierra to swallow the insult, in the end is always the correct
Yeah,
solution.
probably.
With I don't know. I don't know that I at this point in my life can.
Wanna be
the
throwing punches.
only time I can justify violence is in self-defense.
Right.
If we're walking along and people start mugging us and trying to attack us,
Mhm.
just about.
Yeah, that's good. That's pretty strong. What you just said. It's pretty strong. I've rescinded my comment.
No,
earlier,
no,
but
you
that's
don't
right.
have to.
No, but you're right. Like I should employ what you're saying. Not that I'm out here smoking dudes in the face, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? In a situation like that, I too am like, okay, dude, time to take a hike. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
don't see it progressing to fighting, but you're right. Like there's no reason to be throwing the first punch. As adults, there's just like too much to lose. It's not worth it.
I also don't
Just so
think
you can look like a tough guy.
I don't think throwing the punch is the right move. I think it's choking someone out.
Yeah, no, yeah. If you're
The
capable,
goal is
if you're
to
capable.
just
Is this guy a big guy?
he was stocky for sure.
Yeah.
Fireman.
Yeah, no, I figured. Yeah, I guess if you can pull off the chokehold, go for it. Avoid the blood and
Yeah.
human liquid.
Anyway, so that was that. But all of this got me thinking. Okay, so here's one for you. Let's say that there is a fire in your home and you're coming home with a bag of groceries and you look up and you see smoke pouring out of your home and your wife or girlfriend is yelling down. How many stories would she be up where you could catch her clean?
Oh my god, dude, Second floor, probably.
Second floor.
I don't think I could do it from the
Clean
third.
catch, not a part of her touches the ground. Clean.
Dude, no shot more than 2 for me.
2 stories?
Yeah.
Okay. How many stories up could she be where you could break her fall and she doesn't get hurt, but maybe she does touch the ground, or both of you touch the ground?
Maybe fourth, maybe.
That's pretty high.
So third, you think?
I'm
I
not
don't know.
sure.
I'm
not
not an
sure.
expert. Fourth is
And
high, but
you-
like
you
I
have-
would get injured.
Yeah. You have to remember, she's not falling like a damsel.
She's just
She's not she's probably pencil diving, but with erratic limbs,
Mhm.
right? So, you know, she's not turning in midair and hoping to land like a parallel to the
Right,
ground
right.
log.
right. Okay,
Um,
so then, dude, yeah, I mean, fourth floor then is probably out.
but okay, and then at what height do you just mail it in and say, "There's nothing I can do. We're both gonna die if I try." So you just step aside.
You got to go down swinging, bro. Again.
Yeah,
That's-
I agree with
you know,
that.
you got to try. You got to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Hope for the miracle as
Yep.
opposed to not trying at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, couple. You know,
How many stories up would she be where even if you tried, you're both
gonna
dead.
die
Yeah.
from her falling on me.
Yeah.
That's like that movie we talk about occasionally. When Amelie, remember her mom died. That's how her mom died.
Yes. Yes.
Guy committing suicide off
Yeah.
of I think Notre Dame. Probably above 6th floor would be asking for trouble for both of us.
Right.
She'd probably die. I could potentially survive the impact of her,
Yeah.
depending on how I.
Yeah, but you'd be hurt.
I'd probably be hurt pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a direct hit.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
God, this is morbid.
It's morbid,
What do you
but
think? What are you?
no, I mean,
your
I
calculations.
yeah, okay. So I like to think that first floor, I could probably catch her clean.
Mm-hmm.
I do think I could.
First floor? You mean like 2nd floor?
Sorry, second floor. One
Okay.
story up, I think I could catch her clean. And then second story, I hope that I could catch her clean. But either way, I'm breaking the fall.
Yeah.
You know, she's not getting hurt.
She's not
probably.
gonna hurt, yeah.
Probably not getting hurt. Third story, you know, that starts to get a little tricky. That's an ungainly sort of sack of radishes falling out willy-nilly. There's no aerodynamicness.
Yeah, right. If she's doing the air running thing, I
Yeah,
mean,
she
I don't
definitely
think I
is.
don't think I could even catch her from the first floor up. To be honest, if she was that close, I'd be like, all right, jump and like lean forward a little when you jump.
Yeah, but then you risk that she's going to over-rotate and come straight down head first. And then if you don't catch her, she's done.
Yeah, fuck. And she's not like a cliff jumper type. So like when we've had those opportunities, she jumps in from the low point. She doesn't even have practice.
No, right, exactly.
Oh, dear. Oh,
Don't you think this is a fun question?
This is good.
This is a good question,
This is a
right?
good one. This is good. I like this a
Um,
lot for us.
Third story, fourth story, you know, you're getting high. Fourth, fifth, I think that is the zone where, yeah, I mean, you're just hoping that somehow your body can break her fall to the degree that you both survive.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this element for me of if she's 30 stories up, somehow I know she's all the way up there and she's yelling out and she jumps. What do? What can you do? You try to get under it. You have to.
You try to get under
You
it.
have to get under it.
You try to get under it. Like catching a fly ball, dude.
It's bad though.
It's bad.
At that point, she's probably at terminal velocity. Can you do me a favor? How long does it take a human body to reach terminal velocity? Which I think, by the way, is 9.8 meters per second or something like
This
that.
is very impressive.
I think it's 9.8 meters per second, but I could be wrong based
Okay.
on the force of gravity on a human body. Do you know about this? Like
Who said Francis isn't a numbers guy? Huh, Mr. Fireman? Oh no, Mr. Merchman.
12 seconds. So 30 stories, they're going to be
Okay, it would take her a while.
No, but she'll be down before 12
That's what I'm saying.
seconds.
So she won't reach that velocity.
Correct.
She'd
She
have to be
won't
way up.
Okay, so this is what this says.
She'd have to jump from like the tallest building in the world.
Yeah, but this also says when falling in the standard belly to earth position. So you're saying that's like skydiver.
So she's flailing, it takes longer. Okay.
And she's creating more surface area, which creates more friction.
Interesting.
An average estimate of terminal velocity for skydivers is 120 miles per hour, and a falling person will reach terminal velocity after about 12 seconds. Okay, so that's 1,500 feet. Can you look up the average feet per story of a building? Okay. So the average
14 feet.
So it's 14 feet per story, and it's 1,500 feet, presuming she were to fall belly to earth. So that's like 100, like over 100 stories.
It's like the Empire State Building.
Which, yeah.
I think the Empire State Building is like 1,000 feet or something, right? I pulled that out of my ass.
How tall is the Empire State Building?
Well, first, let me share this. This can't wait.
Okay.
It just can't. A study done in Paris in 2005 looked at 287 victims of falling and found that the falls from 8 stories or higher were 100% fatal.
Wow.
So that kind of rules anything out above.
But those people aren't. Those are people that nobody's trying to catch. Those people. Those aren't wives jumping to the waiting arms of willing husbands who are somewhat athletic. The Empire State Building is 1,250 feet.
Okay.
So even jumping from the top of that, you would not reach terminal velocity.
Crazy.
But interestingly, you would hit the ground before 12 seconds. Inside of 12 seconds.
Makes sense. That tracks.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
We'll have some best practices by the end of the episode.
Thank you.
To set you up for success.
That's fascinating.
In the situation.
I think the point is, dude, that if we're talking about a residential building,
Yeah.
whatever, 50 stories or less, you gotta try.
You gotta try.
And you also need to try to yell that they should try to jump like a skydiver.
Dude, fuck, man.
They have to.
So here's the question I have, though. So firemen can come in and save you, right? Now, knowing that, and granted they have like protective gear on and training, but like it seems as if you'd have a better shot attempting to get out conventionally rather than jumping. Jumping, you die.
Let's say that there's no choice. There's a wall of flame blocking the exits. The entire apartment is on fire.
But how do you know that? Like, you don't know.
You can look. You can look and see, and you have now reached the window as a last resort.
Yeah, like either way, the building's gonna collapse and you're gonna fall anyway.
I mean, you don't know. You can see that from here to the door is completely engulfed in flame.
Right, but like in my brain, I'd be like, all right, well, if I can get through that wall of flame, perhaps there's less flame in the next room or something.
Maybe you don't know what's on the other side. I think that people who jump from windows when their apartment or their home is on fire are doing so because they have no choice.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, I guess. But like, I wonder if there is a best move in that situation, because that can't be. I mean, that is not a solution.
It is if your husband's like, I'll get you.
Yeah, fair. If the husband's there.
And you know that he played sports, that he's got a sturdy base.
Yeah.
And he's not going to step out of the way just because he knows you're up too high.
Mm-hmm. You've taken hits. Hits on the field.
Pretty grisly thought exercise, but I think talk to your wife about it. I think everyone should have a game plan of like, if this ever happens, FYI, you need to jump belly to earth, and I will try to catch you.
Dude, if my fucking little girl was up there in a towering inferno, and she didn't make it, dude, I'm toast. I'm jumping off the building too. I'm gonna run up there, and the idea of her fucking burning alive, Jesus, dude.
What, Jesus, Julie? I don't know why you needed to go there.
I was just with her 20 minutes ago, bro. We were in a great mood. We're joking around.
Yeah.
And I just think of her fucking, Julio.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
You'd be like, I got you.
Oh my God.
And you'd put down your bags.
It should have been me.
Could you, well, here's another question. Could you sort of gather another 5 people and create some kind of landing pad.
Like a human
Well, think about
Blue Man Group structure type of thing. Yeah,
I'm wondering, is there a way to link arms to create a
Maybe.
human safety net? Is
Maybe.
there any sort of
start looking for padding.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. Like dude, oh God.
Yeah. It does make you realize, if we're honest, that catching a baby is pretty easy. All things considered. It's like catching a watermelon. I mean, the baby doesn't, there's no way really for a baby to fall feet first such that it becomes, very hard to gather their limbs and things.
They're also super durable, dude. I mean, like,
Babies?
yeah, watching them just like be foldable, like the way they can just like
Yeah.
sit in any position. It like,
Put a foot in their mouth.
I'm now seeing my current body and like how limited my movement is when it comes to flexibility and stretching.
Totally.
I really envy I'm like, wow, all this life trauma has really turned me into this fucking box human. Dude. I'm like, this sucks.
All these vices.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Cool. All right. That was my major question for you today.
I like that too. That's a good one. If you guys are looking to step it up this fall with your fashion, Mugsy Jeans is the place to go.
Buddy, they got us a big old package of that.
I
of
cannot
their
wait
stuff.
to carry it home. I forgot to bring a bag today, and I'm going to carry it with my arms.
I've been rocking the corduroys.
Sick.
Oh, people have been commenting. That's how you know you have a good pant.
Absolutely.
Is when people unsolicited are like, wow,
Those are
I really
sick.
like your pants. And because they don't know that they're new. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
They don't know how happy those pants are making you.
You call them cords,
Cords.
which I was like, oh, cords. And then I like am an idiot and didn't realize that's an abbreviation.
Yeah, corduroys.
But that is cool.
It is cool.
I like that.
I love corduroys in the fall. And these Mugsy cords are so comfortable and yet fit so well.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you guys, if you're not wearing Mugsy cords, their jeans are their signature product.
The jeans are great, especially for a wide hipped man like
Yeah.
myself.
Mm.
They don't elephant ear. The pockets don't elephant ear.
No,
And-
they lie snug and flush.
All my big booty boys out there, you know what I'm talking about with
Yeah.
the elephant ears. These will fit you perfectly. And yeah, highly recommend. They're the most comfortable and stylish men's jeans on the planet Earth because they're designed by dudes for dudes, never too baggy, never too tight. Treat yourself for once and head over to Mugsy.com and use code OOPS for 10% off and free shipping on the most comfortable jeans we have ever worn in cords.
That's right.
That's Mugsy.com. Use code OOPS for 10% off your entire order with free shipping and free returns if you don't love them. Go experience life-changing comfort with Mugsy. Dude, I had something pretty funny happen. I went to dinner with my dad, Sugarfish. He picked up the bill this time.
Wow.
And, dude, this is great. So, so Sugarfish, very, 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 very rarely, they'll fuck up at Sugarfish.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll skip a course.
I've had this.
Or, if you're lucky, they'll bring you a course that you weren't supposed to get.
I've had that too.
And then you get to keep it.
Yeah.
So,
When you say you get to keep it, do you mean because you eat it so quickly that they don't realize they've made the mistake?
so that too, but like they offer it to you also. If you
Uh-huh.
don't just eat it because you think it's wrong, once they put it down, they have to throw it out. So they're like, you can have it. So
Uh-huh.
if you are open to whatever they've just served you, you can have it. It's yours.
Cool.
So it's interesting though. That's important here because we're eating. We both ordered the same thing, and sometimes you'll get something a little faster than I get it, but you're supposed to eat it right away. They say best enjoyed right away.
Right.
So we're getting our regularly scheduled programming, and then I get 4 pieces of sushi, which typically the sushi part of the meal with what I order, you get 2 flights of 6 pieces, pairs of 2.
Yeah.
Right? Occasionally, the special of the day will be like eel or something that they intentionally serve at the end. So it's not crazy to just get 4 pieces because you might get another 2 later. So there's no point in even questioning. So I get these 4 pieces. I eat them. Guy comes out. He's like, hey, there's been a mistake. You weren't supposed to get those, but that's great that you ate them and you enjoyed them. You should have seen how sad my dad was. He was fucking crushed, dude.
That it wasn't him?
He was crushed that he didn't get to, because if we had known beforehand, we'd have shared
Split it.
we would have shared the mistake.
That he didn't get to take part in the bonus mistake.
He could not hide his disappointment and sadness.
Man.
And especially because he's even said, he's been vocal about the point that New York sushi, high-end New York sushi, has ruined his sushi eating experience back home.
Sure.
Because his baseline for the quality now is so high. So for him to miss out on this opportunity, I had to give him a couple pieces of my final flight.
Are you kidding?
I gave him 2 pieces of my final sushi pork, and I insisted. He goes, no. I'm like, you must.
Why didn't you just order another plate of the mistake sushi?
Because that would just pump the bill up, you know?
Yeah, but then you would get those 2 plates for the price of 1, and he would have the experience.
100%, but to him, it's not worth it to cough up the cash.
Wow.
So the free sushi, he missed out on it. He was crushed, and I had to allocate a couple extra for the boys because we're only as good as our weakest link here.
Oh my God. Oh.
Had to cough it up, dude.
I'm trying to think, for me, the absolution of FOMO for your dad, right? What is the cost of that? You determined it's a couple pieces of your own sushi, but were you giving him full, like, let's say,
Nigiri. Yeah. Sorry.
but my question is, you get 2 pieces later on in a course. Are you giving him both of those?
No. So it was supposed to be 6 pieces, and 6 pieces were the 2 sushi flights of the meal. I received 4 with the mistake. So when I received my final 6, I gave him 2 pieces, one from 2 of the pairs.
Good.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want you to miss a whole taste.
Exactly. I'm not giving up both albacore. You know,
Right.
he gets one.
Yeah. What are we talking about here? Huh? What are we talking about here? It does remind me of the phone, like your dad's missing out disappointment is as poignant to him as when I used to miss out on the raffles.
I would say it's similar.
Yeah.
And he has this really nice boyish way about him where these little things do really excite him. Like minor details.
Yeah.
He'll just be like, he'll talk to me about the beverage cart on the plane. He'll be like, oh, they had, like, you know, he'll be impressed that they had a specific kind of soda. Like, I've
Yeah.
never heard another adult do that.
I love the friendship that you and your dad have.
Yeah.
Because I'm friends with my dad too, but we really find that on the golf course, I would say.
Interesting.
Whereas you and your dad go on like couples vacations.
So the one that we went on was the only time we've ever done that.
I see.
But again, it was like I described. Like somehow I felt like we've swapped roles, and he is now my son because he's never done so many of these things.
Yeah.
He's swimming for
Right.
a long time.
Right.
You know, that's like the boy thing to do.
Sure.
And he goes, "You saw me out there swimming." Dude, it's like, and then he goes, "I was working on my stroke," and then he talks about how he floated. These are all like boy things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have seen all the shells underwater.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Look what I found.
You know, dude, there's this wonderful thing I think about our parents and versus our generation, where, and most people would say it's not good, but our parents came up in a time of save your money,
Mhm.
you know, buy a house, build your life, keep things simple. And we are not like that.
Yeah,
We have become the generation of immediate gratification.
right.
We'll buy everything you can right now, and we'll figure out how to pay for it later. You know, the true adoption and incorporation of credit cards and taking loans and all of that, which has the positive manifestation of that is that we have cornered luxury
Right.
in a way that is so foreign to our parents.
Right.
And I have been the absolute quarterback behind pushing my parents to spend more of their money
Interesting.
and, you know, upgrade and and allow themselves to have nice things, which is absolutely within their budget.
Right.
But they are so locked into a mindset of like, my mom has said to me, you know,
Is that like Great Depression parents?
I think it is.
That's what it must be.
Their parents went through the Depression
Yeah.
as kids and
Right.
lost everything.
Right.
and it took a long time. Also, you know, the 1970s when the inflation became
really
rampant,
bad.
it took 20 or more years for the economy to recover. You know, we've only ever had recessions where, you know, the
Bounced back
2008,
quickly.
the economy was back in
A few years, yeah.
6 or 8 years. I don't know.
I think less.
Maybe even less. I mean,
Yeah.
and then, you know, sure enough, the COVID
Mm-hmm.
recession, we were back within a year. So we've never known the long winter.
Mm-hmm.
And there may be a reckoning coming, but for now, it's just been we're children of the summer, as they say in Game of Thrones.
I like that.
Anyway, so yeah, my mom has said to me things like, we need to save our money so that we can pass it on to you guys and your generation, because the world is about to get much more expensive as we reckon with global warming.
Interesting.
And you're going to need more money to be able to survive.
Wow.
And we fucked up the earth.
Wow. That's wild.
Like she pictures
I owe it to you.
She pictures us having to buy a fortified
Right.
home in the mountains, you know,
Wow.
to with like probably a security system to eradicate ne'er-do-wells and pirates and stuff,
Oh my god.
scavengers and starving, you know, post-apocalyptic road
Jeez,
dogs
dude. Jesus.
to live in peace.
Oy.
And that's going to be expensive. Those systems are
Jesus.
expensive.
Jeez.
Have you ever seen The Purge?
Like I don't think I've actually watched the whole thing, but I know like what it's about.
Yeah. The first one was pretty good. But, you know, he has these high-end doors that wealthy families can afford that totally
Keep out the
fortify your
bogeys.
house. Yeah.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah.
But dude, yeah, I think about this. Like, if my dad and I were to go on another trip, and like if I were to get upgraded, I wonder if I would like give him my upgrade.
I think you have to, right?
I don't know. Like, if he pays, maybe. But if he doesn't, then I don't know. I
What do
think,
you pays you?
No, I'm saying if I paid for my own flight
Oh,
and I get upgraded, do I give it to him?
I think you should.
Potentially, right?
Depends on how long the flight is. Well, not even then.
It would probably be no. It couldn't be anything too far.
I think it would mean more to him.
I think so too. I think so too.
I think it would mean more to him.
I think so too.
You know,
All
we
right,
have our
Dad,
whole
you're getting
lives to
upgraded,
get
pal.
upgraded. Yeah. Yeah.
You're getting upgraded.
Yeah. Pretty good.
Pretty good. Dude, when it comes to men's grooming, Manscaped, the pinnacle.
It really is. I've gotten into boxing a little bit, so I'm starting to feel kind of chiseled. I'm already seeing the weight melt off. I'm liking my body. And I was wearing a pretty thick coat of Fran fur. And I took the old Lawnmower 4.0, the latest and greatest from Manscaped, put a little guard on there just so
Yeah.
I wasn't going all the way down.
Yeah.
Gave myself a little once over. And you know what? I immediately looked 5 times more cut.
Give yourself a zhuzh.
You gotta, if you like the way you look and you're looking good, you deserve to be seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
Agreed.
covered in seaweed human fur.
Dude, 100%. I
Yeah.
also like a lot of the side products. I recently reorganized my my medicine cabinet,
Mm-hmm.
and there is products for the men's area for
Mhm.
freshening.
Yep.
And Hillary says that I should have included it with the other sprays. I have a hairspray and a face mist, and then there's also the below the belt region. And I argued that despite the fact that they're all sprays, there's one section for below the belt sprays and one section for above the belt sprays.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. I also love the ear nose trimmer. As we get older, our nose hairs start to get longer. You got to keep those in check.
They really do. You could repel out of a burning house with what we've got growing from the old nostrils. Guys, the Performance Package 4.0 is what has you covered across all your bases. You got the Lawnmower 4.0 with its all-new skin-safe electric trimmer, no nicks or cuts. The Weed Whacker, which is the ear and nose hair trimmer. Crop Preserver, which is the anti-chafing ball deodorant. That would go in your, I'm not sure which of your.
Below the belt misting category.
The Crop Reviver, which is ball spray toner. And the Magic Mat, which is disposable shaving mats, so that you don't get your little hairs all over the floor and have your wife or girlfriend come in and be like, "What happened in
The
here?"
magic mat.
Yeah.
Love that.
So go to manscaped.com and get 20% off. 20% off, guys, and free shipping with the code OOPS. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com when you use code OOPS.
So, guys, thank you for sending emails. We got a solid little wave of them. Also, congrats to the community, 10K on the YouTube channel.
Let's go.
That's big for the boys. I mean, when we moved over here, we had what, 6,000 maybe? 4,000? I don't even know.
6,000
Yeah,
probably.
we're crushing it, baby. Let's
Nice.
fucking go.
Awesome.
Okay, we got a good email. This is a fun one. And shout out to Oops the Podcast for being able to get an email like this. Hey guys, I have a perfect question that needs an answer from two straight males. I'm a lesbian in my 30s and I started going into a new coffee shop. Lo and behold, I saw the most beautiful woman working there. I kept going back, and each time she took my order, I became more attracted to her. She definitely didn't give me any gay vibes, but I've dated straight women before, so I put that nonsense aside. Got a predator on our hands. I decided to give her my number and ask her out. Unfortunately, she never texted me and refused to make eye contact with me on my weekly coffee trip. I considered going someplace else, but the coffee's literally the best in the area, and I'm not going to lie, I wanted to see her. I have not made any more attempts to ask her out or flirt. I keep it casual with a simple hello and thank you exchanges. Side note, she makes eye contact now. Here's the problem. I now have seen the second most beautiful girl working there. I want to ask her out, but also don't want to be that lesbian that constantly asks people out in the same workplace. What should I do? Should I find a different girl someplace else? Also, any advice on asking any advice on asking women out in general?
Wow. Okay. So, salute to this absolute go-getter.
Yeah, seriously.
And
what a
also,
legend, dude.
I mean, and also fearless woman
Yeah.
who not only asked someone out and then didn't succeed, I guess you'd say, but continued to go to that coffee shop.
Yeah,
I think you're already putting yourself in a rare category
yeah,
at that point. Like that of someone who can continue daily
yeah.
to encounter rejection without needing to go find another coffee shop.
Right.
But I think if that's who you are, then absolutely there's no problem in asking this second woman out. However, if you get rejected on that one, you have to find a new coffee shop.
That is very funny.
Because-
Potentially true.
Because if that woman says no and you keep going, then those two women will just start telling everyone else there, like, oh, watch out for this woman. She's a serial ask-outer and continues to come and make us all uncomfortable.
Right. Dude, it's funny. But one thing I will say though, this behavior, this is how you get the W, dude.
It sure is.
You got to play to win.
Persistent
Don't
man.
play not to lose, play to win.
Persistent womaning.
Get in there.
Yeah.
So this is what I'll say though. Okay, you asked her out, she said no, and then you dropped it. That's the difference between this situation and me with CVS lady, where every time I walk in, oh, he's here. Still, dude. And it makes me uncomfortable. And if I'm not feeling like 100%, like if I don't feel like I look my best, I don't even want to go in there
Yeah.
because I don't want to deal with the possibility of, oh, you letting yourself go. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because why would she not say that?
Right.
Completely different thing. But anyway, so the fact that you're going, trying, failing, it's okay. Like you're
Yeah.
not pushing it, and like, okay, the person's a little uncomfortable, but she's back now. She's looking at you again.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe that girl would be relieved to find out that you now have a new crush. Or this is a bidding war now. Suddenly you've pinned them against each other. And they want to get your attention now. I say absolutely go for it with the second girl. I feel you, Francis, on what you're saying about you got to find a new coffee shop. That may be true if things get too weird because, they may even ask you to find a new coffee shop. They may give you the old James Corden treatment, issue the ban.
Mm-hmm.
But no, listen, there's nothing wrong with looking for love. You got to go out there and try your best. And I love that you're such a romantic, that you're just finding the quote most beautiful women in the entire world in the same place.
Right.
Clearly, they're elsewhere too. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go live your truth and do it delicately because you want to keep going there.
I can't help but wonder if our heroine would think that these women were as attractive as they are if the coffee wasn't as good as it is.
It's a hell of a question.
Do you know what I mean?
It's a hell of a question.
Is the elixir of the coffee creating a false light on the baristas who are making it?
100% vibe check, dude.
It's the same bartenders. If at great bars that you have a great time at, who make really good cocktails, receive perhaps an elevated assessment of their attractiveness.
Totally. Which, by the way, I want to add this real quick before the episode ends. Was in Salt Lake City, went out to drinks with some people after the show, had a great time. Went to this bar. They're like, and this was so nice of you guys. Thank you for doing this. They're like, we want to take you to a place that makes a good Negroni. And I was like, oh, that's really nice. They're like, as you redevelop your taste buds. So I was like, even better. So I go to the bar, and this is the thing I find interesting about, quote, smaller markets, where like it seems as if the people who work in these places are way more excited to be there. So like the mixologist guy was just so engaged, and he did something that I've never seen in a bigger city. I go, can I get a Negroni? He goes, yeah, but do you want a white Negroni? I was like, yeah. Yeah, I do.
Oh my God.
So then he made me a normal Negroni and a white Negroni, gave me them both, and he goes, take a sip of that. And dude, oh my God, he did the straw thing where he like held the bottom of it and tasted it.
Himself.
And he goes, yeah.
Oh man.
He was thrilled, and the shit was fire. And I was like, dude, that's amazing. He goes, yeah, I'm trying to get it on the menu. And I was like, dude, hell yeah. And then that was it.
This is eerie because at our party, I made a Negroni for a guy who considered himself a Negroni specialist.
Oh, wow.
And as I was making it, he said, have you ever had a white Negroni?
Stop it.
And I'd never heard of that.
Stop it.
I'd never heard of it.
Wow.
And he gave me his recipe. He said, I make a really mean white Negroni.
That's crazy.
Are
you
we
serious?
Are we about to become white Negroni guys?
We might, dude.
I think we might be.
We might start to become the white Negroni guy.
Wow.
What was the difference?
You'd love to
Was
see
there a
it.
difference in taste?
There's a different
Yeah, it's just
ingredient.
a different. I don't know how he made it or
You
what he
make
made it with.
this guy. I was told that instead of using, I think instead of using maybe sweet vermouth, you use Lillet, which
Wow.
is that sweet kind of white wine.
Interesting.
And that's what makes it. And maybe there's a substitute as well for the Campari.
Suze.
Yeah,
Suzanne.
interesting.
Dude, sick.
Yeah.
I have to fire some of those puppies up.
We might have to. All right, I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna get on it. Last thing I'll say is that I've had to. One time I used to go to this matcha place
Mhm.
in the afternoons for a little pick me up,
Yeah.
and there was a woman there who made me this great matcha drink, and I would go all the time, and she was always super nice to me. Sometimes she would give me the drinks for free,
Sick.
and I kind of knew she maybe had a crush on me
There's
or
an
something.
opening, yeah.
And then sure enough, she like one day wrote her number on a napkin and gave it to me and was like, I'd love to take you out sometime.
Wow.
And I could no longer go to the place.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I had to stop going.
I'll tell you what though, that's a different dynamic. That's a reverse dynamic.
Yeah.
Somebody told me about this too at the weed place he goes to, which I guess you can just buy weed in stores in New York. I don't really understand what's going on with that. The girl at the weed place asked him out, and now he doesn't go there anymore.
Yeah.
'Cause
I
he's very
can't go.
comfortable.
I can't go. And, it's shitty because I really liked that matcha drink.
So what you can do in that situation is be like, that's really, really like, wow, like I'm blushing. I can't
Yeah.
believe it. I have a girlfriend
Yeah, but
in another world. I would accept for sure.
I'm too aware of their feelings in a way. Well,
Yeah.
it
feel
sounds
No,
self-aggrandizing.
but it's fair.
But my point is, she can't go find a new job.
But
She-
why would she want? Why would she?
if it's so, if my
Oh.
rejection of her is uncomfortable for her,
I got you.
me continuing to come is like an act of. I don't know. It's much easier for me to find a new matcha place than for her to switch
I feel you.
jobs
I
to
feel you.
avoid me.
I feel you.
And
But
I respect that, so that's why I stopped going.
So then the only thing I can think of is like, unless like I sometimes give off a little bit of a flirty vibe,
Mm.
which would then open me up for something like that happening. In which case, I agree with what you're saying. Maybe they would have taken it as if I was flirting with them, but in reality, I wasn't, and I'm not interested. Or the type of person who would do that maybe wouldn't feel that ashamed.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I think that anyone who works in an establishment and asks a regular customer out is probably aware of the pitfalls
Right.
and is not so nervous about the consequences as to not be able to live with them should they happen.
Totally.
Yeah. Fair.
Awesome.
Cool. Wow.
Oops the pee, baby.
Yeah, that's it.
Rippin' fucking rip.
We appreciate you guys listening. Send us more emails and thoughts to oopsthepodcast@gmail.com. And we've got Facts with Ryan. Facts with Ryan.
Da, 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 da.
Okay. So,
I don't have the rest of the song today, but
chokehold.
go cold.
10 seconds is the maximum amount of time to subdue the person.
The maximum amount of time before they will die.
No, so 10 seconds is what's suggested. You should release after 10 seconds.
Got it.
Anything after 15 seconds is going to cause permanent damage or death.
Jesus.
It's a small window, dude.
And then a couple things about falling.
Yes.
So people usually survive falls from 20 to 25 feet. Only half of the people who fall 3 stories survive. And then a
Right.
pro tip in case you ever find yourself falling. No matter what height you fall from, you should always try to land on your feet. Landing feet first concentrates the impact force on a small area, allowing your feet and legs to absorb the worst of the blow. If you're in any other position, try to right yourself before you hit the ground.
Yeah. Because all your vital organs for survival are within your torso,
Right.
your head.
Waist up.
And you could break both your legs, but that would sort of cushion your fall.
I also saw a story. There's a man that survived a 47-story fall.
Oh
He was
Yeah.
a window wiper.
God, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Unreal. Okay, cool. That's Oops the Podcast. Julio, may we find you anywhere performing live comedy?
November 12th, Blind Pig, Ann Arbor, notjulio.com.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.